So what's gangster is my man bombed another country, completely broke all accords and international law and stuff like that. Yet this man, look at him, he's posing right up in the middle. He's all good. They're all waiting for him, and they're smiling. And again, nobody's
Yeah,
sanctioning
but
U.S.
no,
If
but
Russia did
I
this,
know, I know.
sanctions,
But
sanctions,
I mean,
sanctions. If anyone else did
this
it,
I get what you're
sanctions,
saying.
sanctions.
Yeah, the
U.S.
grand
is
point of what
just
you're saying is
chilling.
true.
Like
Yeah,
this,
the grand point,
what you gonna
the
do?
grand point of what you're saying
What
is
you
true.
gonna
But
do?
for to talk about NATO, U.S. owns and runs NATO.
Wow.
It's a U.S. thing. NATO is the U.S. and no, but that's what I'm
Either
saying.
way, what
The
country is
grand scheme of what
sanctioning
you're
what
saying, the
country?
grand idea of what you're saying is true. They did what they had to
Yeah,
do, and nobody can say anything.
yeah.
Nobody can do anything about it. Where are the sanctions?
Where are the sanctions?
Because
Yeah,
they're the
no one
ones
can
that
think,
impose sanctions to start
think
with.
about it. Like,
You can't sanction yourself. So that's the way it is, right? So that's just the truth and reality of things.
hey guys, welcome to another Reaction Wednesday, and we're gonna do a bit of a more political-oriented reaction, where we kind of react with what's going on in the world right now.
Mhm.
So we're just gonna get right into it.
that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you
And
understand
he
that?
drops the mic and walks away.
And this is
What
exactly
do you
what we
mean we
need.
need?
This
You're
is
you're
effing
Canadian. What are you talking
ridiculous.
about? This is what
How
we need.
you're 100% right, but the reality is that we live in this world. We know who the superpowers are, and it affects all of us. So it is
Fair
what it
enough.
is. This is ultimately why he got elected. I think people are tired of the platitudes, the statesmanship of the elected officials, and trying to be all prim and proper and politically correct. It's annoying. So, though I don't fully agree with everything that Trump's doing, this is what I appreciate. I appreciate the fact that he doesn't give a damn. Clearly, no one's in his pocket. He doesn't have to pow down to any type of liberal this or that. Like, come on, give me a break. Like, he's upset because his eco's busted. He said this was a ceasefire and then they broke it. He's just freaking upset. It makes sense. What are your
In terms of
thoughts?
what him portraying that image of realness of a real politician is what got him elected. Whether or not he is real or he's a real person in terms of when he says what he means and all that, that's another conversation that we can have. This, if you want to call it blowout or whatever people might say it is, it's good for his base. It's good for the it's good for conflict resolution for the MAGA party, MAGA base, because they were divided.
Hold on, Jai. Are you what? Are you literally trying to say
No,
what he
let me.
did
That's why I
was a
said let me
political
finish.
move?
That's why I said let me
Swearing on
finish.
national TV?
So I will agree that this is good for his political base in the sense that him coming out to say stuff like that, it's good for uniting the people together to say, okay, well, we know that some of us didn't support him bombing Iran, but now that he's coming to a point where he wants him to have a peace deal. This is good for his base, so they will unite again based on this comment because now they know at least he's looking for a peaceful resolution after bombing them. So that's what I was trying to say. Get what he always get tries to get what he wants, and part of why he's probably upset or the show of being upset is he didn't get what he wanted, which is bomb this place and then get a peace deal and both of them to come to the table. But they didn't listen to him and he was pissed,
I
saying
hear what you're
that this
saying.
was good for him. It's a win for his base. It's a win for the MAGA party because his comments today will probably keep the naysayers and the MAGA party quiet. The ones that said that he shouldn't have bombed Iran. He's now taking the neutral side, and that's good for his base. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know, man. I disagree. I think what he's doing is being a human being. I think I don't see how his base, who is Bible thumping type individuals, appreciate the
I
F
don't
word.
think it
I
makes a
think
difference.
this is once again showing why why Trump got elected. Who isn't an opportunist? Are you telling me that if a job paid you less, you would still work that job and then someone else another job's paying you more? I know you're not stupid, Jai. You're going to take the higher paying job, right? That's an opportunist. You're taking the opportunity to leave because you're getting paid more. I don't see anything different than this. He is highly egotistical, but that's who he's always been. That's who you elected. I wish Obama did some of this stuff. I think that's what happened with Obama. He just kind of got sucked into his own narrative, his own pioneerism, being the first black president. He didn't want to become a first-term president, and he towed the line. But I think everybody was expecting Obama to be this way. He was not corrupted. People didn't believe he was corrupted by the institution that is Washington. And he's a great orator. I think Obama just started sitting down thinking, is my legacy of who I am, being the first black president, more important than
I don't know
what I'm
that
trying
that's
to do
the
here?
case, though.
And I
But
think he
anyways,
just
let me go
chose-
back to your comment about, you said
Yeah.
him dropping the F-bomb. I didn't get that comment. Like it didn't cater to his base, or because they're the Bible Belt?
I think that was just a person that was just upset. And what I'm trying to say is politicians, a lot of times, are so polished and they're so like PR and politically correct. It's almost annoying. You want to vomit because you know there's crap happening, but then they just tell you these stories and they give you these platitudes and they don't try to ruffle any feathers. But Trump basically just said what was on his effing mind. And I think that's what people respect. I think that's what people love. A lot of people are criticizing him because he literally is doing what he said that Obama was going to do. If you remember, there's a bunch of tweets. I don't know if you saw it. Let's see if I can quickly bring it up.
He said, okay, this was in 2013. Somebody attacked Iran in order to show how tough he is. So why is he doing that now?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's I mean, the internet never forgets, man. That's the thing. The internet
Exactly.
never forgets.
So and he had other tweets. He had tons more tweets. I guess
Okay.
that was the main one that they're showing. But basically, he was just this was the main one. But he had a bunch of tweets that led up to this, saying Obama, this Iranian deal. If you remember, Obama did a deal where he
prisoners
traded
and hostages.
prisoners
Yeah.
and hostages
No, I actually
for
was
money.
watching. Sorry to cut you short.
He was
To this same effect. I mean, this is a different leader. This was Biden, and they were saying, this same guy was saying when Biden was in power, Biden is so useless. He's silly for making a deal with Iran. Why is he giving them money? Why is he going through diplomacy? And then they now showed a video of him saying the same, like about Biden, like previous years, and it's like they dance to the tune, man. They back and forth, back and forth. They just flip flop. So, anyways, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then here's another one. This is 2011. In order to get elected, Barack Obama will start at war with her. A lot of people will say he's being hypocritical. But I know for sure if you went back to my history, there's things that I might have said that I've changed my mind, right? I've changed my stance on it. Obama had the exact same opportunity. He had the same military might, the same military strength. He didn't do it. And so this is where I think why Trump is validating and why people elected him. I'm sure a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people don't necessarily like him personally. I want somebody that will fight for my benefits and my needs. And this is the closest thing that they have, since you're clearly trying to tell me that I'm not American. But just my thoughts.
I would say that if Obama had done some of the stuff that Trump is doing right now, I don't even think he would fly. I don't even think it would have been possible for him to do it. There was a lot of things that he did that I didn't agree with. So, for instance, the whole Libya thing, the whole, let's just leave it at Libya for now. But if he had done other things, like he had bombed Iran at the time when Donald Trump was saying he that's what his will to get reelected was, can you imagine the the backlash and everything he would have gotten? Like,
I don't
no,
I think
I don't think I'm wrong on
I
this
think you're
one.
wrong.
Let me finish. Let me finish real quick. The reason why he would have gotten a lot of backlash is because at that point in time, diplomacy was the favorable route. By all means, like there was no need to bomb Iran at that point in time. There was no need to go into a fight with Iran because they didn't pose a threat. Based on they agreed to the nuclear inspections, they were cooperative, so there was no need. I mean, we don't know. I think he did what he did at that time because that was the best option he had in his plate. And having said that,
So
if
if
he
you
had bombed
remember,
Iran then, it would have been. I don't think it would have made any sense. There was no reason at all. But you were saying if you remember what? Go ahead.
so if you, I was just
Mm.
saying, if you remember what I said, I made the premise that Obama made a
Mm-hmm.
decision about his legacy, right? Do I want to be a first
Mm-hmm.
term or second term president? So context is important. So what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, Obama could have done this, but yes, he might have been impeached. You might
Yeah.
like I'm not denying with you. There's certain privileges that certain people have. My point is he decided
How do you know that?
that was more
How do you know
important.
that that was when
That
he
was more
decided that that was
important.
more important to be a second term president? Trump may have done the same things too. There was a lot of things he did where he wanted to become second term, and the only reason he didn't become second
Okay.
term is
All right.
because of
Okay.
COVID. He would have made his second term if COVID didn't happen. Trump would have won hands down if COVID didn't happen.
No, Trump, no, Trump he misread the black vote.
No,
I think
no,
that's damn
no.
clear.
Trump would have
He
won
misread the black
if
vote.
COVID
Yeah,
did not
that's how.
happen. Unequivocally,
Look at the
Trump would have won
demographics.
if COVID did
That
not
might.
happen. I think
Well,
every pundit has said it from day one
what?
since he lost that election, that the main reason why Trump lost, and this is not even going back and forth. We're not experts and we're not pundits on this, but people who have studied this have said the same things, and we can look for videos or even ask ChatGPT. If COVID didn't happen, Trump would have won the second term, unequivocally, easily. It'd have been a landslide.
I'm, but
Yes.
but COVID did happen. So what I'm just trying to say is, when there's a crisis,
Mm-hmm.
you need every single vote. I'm just saying that he clearly did not try to get the black vote, and that's what happened, right? Black votes came out in droves for Biden.
Fair
That's all
enough.
I'm just trying to say. I'm not trying to change history. A constant is a constant. I'm just trying to tell you what might have been part of a logistical reason why he lost, and he took advantage of that. This time around, he was not that stupid. He went on the social media. He did the shows. He went on there's a black woman's thing. He talked about it. Was he the most expert at it? I thought Kamala was black, and then she's this. So, but the point of the matter is that he tried this time. My point is he didn't do that before. So I'm not denying what you're saying. I'm just saying that there were some critical mistakes that they did. But anyways, my point, what I'm trying to get at is Obama, at least, and I will clarify, fine, you're right. I don't know what's in his head. But I'm just saying, from what I saw back in those days with the Iran, and you're wrong, there was a red line with Iran. The point is, Iran went past the red line. And the other part that you're not fully factual on, Jai, is Iran has been deceptive. There's no doubt about it. They have been deceptive with respect to the the clarity of the enrichment, the amount of information that they're forthcoming. They have not been the most honest people. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's clear. They have not been the most honest. Not to say Israel has either, but the point is the fingers at Iran. I think Obama could have did some of these things, but he was just too worried about his legacy. That's all. But that's just my theory, and you're totally right. I don't know Obama, and so I'll digress on that area. But I just think at one point he just decided, you know what, my legacy is more important than me doing this and then potentially causing issues, right? Or might not becoming a secretary
Hey,
president.
here's my pushback. You said Iran didn't cooperate. That's not true. They did. In 2015, they signed that proliferation. They signed in
In every
2015 a
single
proliferation agreement, and they signed to reduce their capacity to
okay,
3.3%, and they did cooperate. They
okay.
agreed to reduce the number of centrifuge they built and all that stuff. So you can check it. 2015, they did. I remember very well. Yeah. Take a look at
All
it.
right,
Yeah.
let's take a look. Well, I'm just gonna do, has Iran been fully
No, you didn't
transparent
say trans. Yeah, they haven't been fully transparent, but
in
they did
their?
cooperate. No. Hear me out.
What are you talking?
What I said was that Obama got Iran to cooperate through diplomacy. He didn't get them to cooperate through bombing them, which is
Okay.
what happened in 2015. Through diplomacy, he was able to get them to cooperate, and they reduced their nuclear capacity to the agreed upon 3 point something percent. That's a fact. That's not me just speculating.
Okay.
You're saying that have they been fully transparent? No,
Okay.
obviously not. Iran's not been fully transparent, but they were able to cooperate. Eventually, they've lied in the past.
What is
The
the
difference
difference
is
between?
they've
Okay.
been lying, but he got them to come to the table and
Hmm.
cooperate with what they needed to do, and they did that. So whether they were liars in the past, they were able to check the nuclear proliferation deal, and they got them to agree, and they cooperated in 2015, which is when they signed the accord. So anything that happened prior, I'm not disputing that. They've always been the way they are. So all I'm saying is diplomacy worked at that point. So maybe bombing them was the option now. I don't know. But at that time, I don't think that bombing around would have been an option
Hmm.
because diplomacy was the more bipartisan approach. And he was able to get them to vote for that. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay. I think though, if what you're saying was accurate, then there would be no need for escalation, right? What I'm trying to say to you, Jai, is what's the precursor here now? If what you're saying is accurate and they have been following the rules, quote unquote, like you're saying, they've only enriched to amount of uranium to what is civilian capable, then what is the precursor to why the bombing
No,
happened
no, no,
then,
no.
Jai?
I don't.
Because remember, the precursor for the
It's
weapons of mass
different arguments,
destruction
Kevin.
was 9/11.
You're attacking.
Okay.
You're attacking my argument
How
on
is
when
it
I
different?
said Obama got them to cooperate. That was what you were attacking. My
Mm-hmm.
argument on the fact that Obama got them to cooperate on this. That's not my opinion. That's a fact. In 2015, they signed an accord. They reduced their nuclear
Mm-hmm.
proliferation and they got it up down to 3%. What happened afterwards is when Trump came in, he
Okay.
threw away those agreements, and then they started building again, and that's why they got up to 60%. But having said that, it doesn't mean that what happened in the past wasn't true. If Obama had bombed them at that point in time, I don't think that was the right option. I don't know that. I don't agree that Trump bombing them was the right option this time, but I'm not a strategist. But I'm just not agreeing with it because I think diplomacy may have been the route to take. Because remember, what you're saying is that Obama should have bombed them then, and I'm like, no, I don't
Mm-hmm.
think so. Obama did what he did best, and it worked. Trump is doing what he knows best. Maybe it works or doesn't work. I don't know. I
No,
don't necessarily agree with it, but time will tell.
I want to make clear I'm not into bombing or fear as a deterrent to. All I was just trying to say is why people appreciate Donald Trump is because no one's in his pocket. People understand that versus a politician, they will say something and they'll do this and you don't know what they're thinking. You don't know who's in their pocket. You don't know this. You don't know that. So all I was just trying to say is I think that at some point Obama was doing all this, right? The Affordable Care Act, it wasn't popular, but he did it. He knew it needed to be done. He didn't give a damn, and people respected that. When it comes to war and things like that, number one, Democrats are never really as war heavy as Republicans. And number two, I think he just was trying to toe the line. So I'm not saying I wanted him to bomb. You said it earlier. Certain people can't do these things, and I think Obama recognized that. The point what I'm trying to say is who cares? If this is gonna tarnish your legacy, who cares? If it's the best thing for the country, do it. That's all I'm just trying to say. I'm not saying to bomb, I'm not saying to do this or do that. My point is you just said it. You said it perfectly. He was worried and well not worried, but certain people can do things, certain people cannot do things. I'm just saying I don't prescribe to that. You're the president. You have the power. Do it. Who cares about your damn
Okay,
legacy?
well,
That's my
yeah, it
whole
makes
thing.
sense. I
Does
still
that make
disagree,
sense?
though. I don't think he did it because of his legacy. I think he did it because that was the option he
Okay.
had that worked best. Maybe it would, but maybe
Yeah.
the output of doing that was helping his legacy. But I don't think he was doing that because of his legacy at that point in time. He did it because that was what was best for the country. Fighting or going to war with Iran at that point in time was not the best option.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
All right. All right. Perfect. Perfect. And this other bit of
What's this
news.
one?
I'll just play it here.
Comprehensive picture
Oh, yeah,
of what
this-
exactly happened here. But based on a battle damage assessment that was carried out by U.S. Central Command, essentially looking at the images and looking at what was actually damaged, the Defense Intelligence Agency has assessed that the core components of Iran's nuclear program are largely intact, and that Iran's nuclear program has essentially only been set back by months. Now, we presented this information to the White House for comment, and White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt, she did acknowledge the existence of this assessment, but she said in a statement that the administration disagrees with it. She said, quote,
So this is the thing. The one thing
Man. I'm laughing because it throws away everything that
You're
it
laughing
throws
at-
away everything you were saying earlier about this whole thing. I know you said you weren't into the bombing and all that stuff, and he's trying to seem tough, but
Yeah.
force hasn't worked for the Middle East. It's been proven time and time again, like with Libya, with Afghanistan, with Iraq, with Syria. Force has never worked. So I don't know why they did this. I'd like to see the outcome, and I hope and pray, because America's success is Canada's success. So obviously I want America to be successful, but I don't see the need for this. Now they're saying it wasn't 100. Anyways, you go ahead. You go ahead. It's just interesting.
U.S. to a T, right? Successful, perfect, patriot, soldier, patriot, perfection. And it's like, okay, but 90% of your stuff is made in China. Like you have the most poverty in a first world country.
Almost,
Like
yeah.
I just find it interesting. So that's what I'm laughing at with respect to this.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's a huge irony.
This
Yeah, it's a huge
excellence.
irony.
Like really, what excellence is here? Like, don't get me wrong, y'all are very powerful.
Oh, heck yeah.
I ain't taking that away from you. Y'all are very creative. I'm not taking that away from you. But this excellence, perfection and being great, I think are two different things. And I think sometimes the way Trump portrays it, it's perfect and great. And it's like, really? But who knows? Maybe this might be a false intelligence and maybe Trump might be right. But that's just my thoughts.
It's laughable.
CNN
If
article.
Indeed, it's true. It's laughable. And if you want it to be effective, it should be covert. You did something, boom, bam, you're out of there, and just what's the point of making everybody know that you did this, and now it's like it wasn't really what you said it was, because now it makes you look silly. You know what I mean? Because on one hand, you have your own news agencies presenting the fact that it was successful, and in the same vein, you have other news agencies from your own country saying, no, that's not the case. Even in the military, there's disagreement between whether it was effective or not. Like, it's always that case with them. We already know you're a superpower. We already know you're all powerful and everything. So why not just do these things and do them covertly, not come out and lie to people and tell us what we want to hear.
So what's gangster is my man bombed another country, completely broke all accords and international law and stuff like that. Yet this man, look at him, he's posing right up in the middle. He's all good. They're all waiting for him, and they're smiling. And again, nobody's sanctioning U.S. If Russia did this,
I know.
sanctions. If anyone else did it,
I get what you're saying.
Sanctions.
Yeah, the
U.S.
grand point
is
of what you're
just
saying is
chilling.
true.
Like this,
Yeah, the grand point-
what you gonna do?
The grand point of what you're saying
What
is
you gonna
true,
do?
To talk about NATO, U.S. owns and runs
Wow.
NATO. It's a U.S. thing. NATO is the U.S. and no, but that's what I'm saying.
Either way, what country?
The grand
is
scheme of
sanctioning
what you're
what
saying, the
coun-
grand idea of what you're saying is true. They did what they had to
Yeah.
do, and nobody can say anything.
Yeah.
Nobody can do anything about it. Where are the sanctions?
Where are the sanctions?
Because they're the ones that impose sanctions to start
Think
with.
about it, like.
You can't sanction yourself. So that's the way it is, right? So that's just the truth and reality of things. We're fortunate.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. Please like and subscribe. And this is another Reaction Wednesdays. You guys have a good time, or you guys have a good one. God bless.